meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Amen. Please be seated. Good morning.
Morning.
We almost have a packed house today. Pretty good. Pretty good. Today's gospel is from Mark 13, 1-8. You would ask, is this an apocalyptic message, or is this a message of hope? The disciples all came from a rather low, kind of key area, rather laid back, and for the most part they lived a very simple life. So when they saw this magnificent temple for the first time, they were utterly amazed at its beauty. This temple would have been 15 stories high and encased in gold, with all the bells and whistles and everything that you could think of. So it was quite amazing and beautiful. Now, I've traveled to many parts of the United States, and I've traveled to many other countries and seen some amazing things too. And some of them utterly did amaze me. The disciples were excited about this. And they said, what a magnificent building. And then Jesus, however quickly, crushes all that excitement. Because he tells them, see all these buildings? Not one stone will be left on another. Every one of them will be thrown down. Talk about putting a damper on someone's excitement. That just did it. But Jesus was telling them about what was going to happen, and it did. And so you have a word for it. But they weren't getting it. And then they went to him privately and said, when will this happen? And what signs are we to look for? And Jesus doesn't give them a direct answer, but tells them that don't let anyone deceive you. Let no one come to proclaim in my name that I am he. Don't let the people deceive you. When you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. These things will happen. Wars between nations and kingdoms, earthquakes and famine. Yes, there are a lot of conflicts today. Senseless killings, disastrous fires like those in California, floods and earthquakes, upheavals in whole communities are going on today. Does that mean that the end time is here? No. Throughout all time, people have tried to convince us that they knew when the end time was going to come. They don't know either. Not long ago, you remember Y2K. Remember that? Everything was going to end. The computers were going to shut down or explode. All the financial institutes were going to come crashing down. No utilities, no anything. The world that we knew was going to cease to exist. 2018, 18 years later, and we are still here. There are disasters going on throughout the world. In my opinion, way too many. One conflict is way too many. The Reverend Deacon Mueller talked about a survey that was done back in the year 2000. It's quite amazing. It stated that since 3600 BC, there were approximately 14,300 conflicts/wars. Over 3.6 billion people have been killed. And the so-called civilized world saw only 292 years of peace out of 5,600. Don't know how they put all this together, but that's quite startling figures for me. Do we know when the end time is coming? No. Do I know? No. Does Father Mike know?
No.
This passage to me is not about apocalyptic happenings, the end of the world. There are those who do what we call proof texting. They'll take parts of the Bible and put them all together so they can prove to themselves that they know when the end time is coming. But no one knows that. Yes, the temple was destroyed except for one wall, the Wailing Wall that's there today. But this passage talks about hope and a way to live our lives between Jesus' resurrection and when he comes again. Jesus says that all these things are birth pains. I know there are a lot of mothers out here today, and I know you know about these. Throughout your pregnancy, there may have been discomfort and pain, labor pains before and during childbirth for many of you. But what happens after that? The most beautiful gift from God comes. A child is born. Something beautiful has come after your struggle. Can I get an amen? I don't ask for them very often. Jesus is talking talking about hope, especially for the marginalized, the sick, the homeless, the poor, those not accepted by society, those of different race, color, religion, gay, lesbian, those with physical or mental disabilities, all challenged and marginalized people. Not concentrating on when the end will come, but concentrating on living a life that brings hope to everyone. We also, as a society, we can build up walls, and we can build them up inside ourselves, block by block, adding by adding, which hinders us from being able to do those things. We just happen to have some blocks. One of the blocks that we may have is racism. We may have hate. We can have prejudice. We can have exclusion. We want to keep everybody out. Hopefully these will stay. We have indifference, where we just don't really care. We have violence. And we also prejudge. These are things that prevent us from doing that very work that we're supposed to do. So what do we need to do? We need to knock these down. We need to get rid of them inside ourselves, so we can live our lives loving our neighbor as ourselves. Get rid of these blocks. Get rid of these walls. Staying with our baptismal covenant and not listening to false prophets. Believing that we are not worth anything because maybe we're not a certain weight, or maybe we don't have certain clothes, we don't look a certain way, we don't drive the best car, or we don't have the best house. We must believe that we are someone to be loved, and more importantly, we're someone who can love back. Don't let today's advertisements and everything on the radio, TV, etc. tell you anything different about yourself. Go out and see the beauty that still exists in this world today. There is still a lot of beauty in this world today. Stand up for those who are in need. The sick, the poor, the homeless, the needy, the lonely, the widows, anyone who is suffering. Be the one striving to bring love and hope into this world. Yesterday at the Scout Drive, I saw some of that love, some of that excitement. People weren't there because they were dragged there. They wanted to be there. They were happy to be there. I saw a lot of smiling faces, a lot of conversations going on, and it was great. We're not to be afraid of what lies ahead. In John 11:25, Jesus says, "I am the resurrection and the life. And whoever believes in me will live even though they die." Tear down these walls and these barriers that are keeping you from being a true servant of God. Tear down the walls and barriers that prevent you from loving your neighbor as yourself. The very walls that are preventing you from knowing the true love of Christ today. Live today with the knowledge of hope for tomorrow. Define yourself as one who will not be defined by anything other than love. Let the walls of violence, racism, hatred, prejudice all come tumbling down inside of you. Let none of them ever again stack up one on another, and never let them stand in your way.